Loco.
Ooh.
A Four Loco?
What is that? A 4 Loco on a what?
5 hour energy.
I would've
9
died.
Loco.
Somebody said, why don't you do cocaine like an adult?
You know what? Another one is I just saw a video. That's hilarious. It said this guy sits, got his phone on the window, and he's like, can you believe this fucking guy just asked me if I would if I show him if I show him my butthole, he'll give me a 4 Locos. And all you see is the phone like panning out, and he goes like that. He goes right over there, and he's holding a 4 Loco, and he's like right over there. Can you fucking believe that? People are crazy. I was like, yeah, that's a good one.
Okay. Let's see. This is recording, so
Hey, is that recording?
maybe. Everybody say hi to Corey.
Hi, Corey Watson!
Can you see everybody now, bitch?
Bitch! You stupid bitch! I'm kidding, Corey. Love
Science.
you. Wait,
So-
before
Blinded with science!
put your cup here so I can get a picture of for yeah. It's close enough.
Yeah, nice.
Part of the new movie,
Hey.
something like that.
What the?
We can totally see better now.
What? Dude, is that from Wayne World?
Shut up, Darren.
I'm the leprechaun.
I'm the little
leprechaun.
I remember that.
I'm the
That was from Wayne World, right?
I think it was from Wayne World. I can't. I'm not
He was
even.
trying to, what's his name? Girth?
Girth. All the ladies love him.
Good one, Darren. Good one.
And he's back.
And he's back.
Okay, we can start recording now.
Okay.
Surprise.
Surprise, surprise.
Are scary movies supposed to actually be scary? That's what I tried to forget your stupid question.
Oh
I'm
my
being
God.
completely okay.
Wait.
Darren really wants to understand your question.
Hold on. Teresa, what type of answer are you trying to get out of this?
Like, what? How were they supposed to scare you?
There's different types of scary movies.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Here's what I want to know.
Okay.
When I think a movie is scary, I want to be able to not go to sleep at night.
So that's shit. That's different because it depends on what you're scared of.
Right.
So if you're for instance, if you're terrified of spiders,
No.
okay, just for instance,
No.
and you go to a movie that's strictly about spiders sneaking up on you or ending up in your bed, like that's gonna terrify somebody that's scared of spiders.
You can never see rats. What's that?
A horror movie about rats.
Yeah, I won't watch that.
See, something
But
like that.
is that true? Like I want.
Question. Alien movies
Rats
aren't
are
always
easy.
scary, but alien movies will terrify you. You don't watch the fourth kind. Like that won't let
I'm
you
gonna
sleep
put it on my
at night.
fucking playlist because
That's a movie that will not let you sleep at
Let
night.
you specifically sleep.
What's it called?
The Fourth Kind.
What's it? And
It's
it's
with
about.
Mila Jovovich, right?
Yeah, the girl from Resident Evil.
Oh, the one.
The
for-
girl from the Fifth
Element. Can I tell you a funny story about that?
Sure.
Okay. So, Carlos has a friend.
Oh, we've already
Oh,
had
well
this
then never
story.
mind.
Did we answer your question then?
No, okay.
And our listeners have heard that.
Oh,
So that's
okay.
why I didn't let
Well,
you.
fuck you then. Fuck all y'all.
Fuck all you listeners.
Especially you, Corey.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't see this.
Okay, so for instance, everyone
See this?
knows that I am not a big movie watcher. I watch TV shows and cartoons.
Yes.
I've decided that this year I would start watching new classics, scary movies. So I started with Halloween,
Which one?
the original fool.
Okay, just making sure.
With your dad's girlfriend.
Halloween 3 is actually really good.
So I watched
It's
it,
fun.
and I'm on the couch,
With the guy with the CDs.
and And you've got, what is his name? Michael Myers.
Yes.
And he's standing there like this, and she looks and she's scared. And I'm like, I literally asked, when are the death murders going to start happening? Because there was nothing happening.
So, you gotta think, back then, that was pretty scary.
No, that's Hellraiser.
I look at it now, I'm like, wow, that movie's super cheesy. You know, but like Amityville Horror, the remake, when I was little, I was like, this thing's the most scary movie I've ever seen. And I look back now and I watch them like, yeah, that's pretty corny.
With Ryan Reynolds?
Yes. You know what I mean? And it's like, but Halloween, the old ones, it's like, I look at it, I'm like, I don't understand how people think this is like terrifying. Like, this is.
And that's why but it's the same, like, we watched Trick or Treat, it was very good, super good. I liked it a lot.
Uh-huh.
But because I thought it had a good story.
Yeah.
But it didn't scare me.
There's not a lot of good slashers.
I'll tell you what does scare me. I realize that really I think I'm like actually super scared of fucking werewolves. For whatever reason, they creep me out. And I think it's because I saw Thriller when I was a baby.
They're becoming more and more real.
How so?
Darwin?
There's actually been a lot more reporting, like reports of them.
The
lately.
fourth kind?
The fourth kind, yes, that's the movie.
Werewolves?
Of possible sightings of werewolves. And it's weird because
Go.
It's weird because like you hear about it and then you know, okay, like werewolves, whatever. But like in the past like I think it's like 3 years, I was like researching earlier. In the past like 3 years it's been like more reports of like a wolf-like creature standing.
Isn't that part of the Alien, that story? It's bugging me because I brought it up the last time.
Ranch?
Yes, Skinwalker
Yeah.
Ranch. Yes. Did you read? Is that what you read?
I remember the name. I don't know if I read it in the same story.
Yeah, Skinwalker Ranch is notorious for it's not haunted. It's not
It's not a haunting.
It's like a possessed place. And skinwalkers are. I don't even know how to get into this without like getting into.
Yeah,
it's so much information.
It's
it always
like
starts out with that.
ancient. It's more ancient, like Indian, Native American.
And it's
very Native American, which I mean.
They've done documentaries where they go into Skinwalker Ranch, and I think you can see it on YouTube. And it's just the things that even catch on film, and the things that they experience in certain like buildings in certain areas, and then they take measurements and they put coordinates together and they equal. It's just very bizarre. But one of the main things about Skinwalker Ranch was that werewolf. It's a huge dog. I mean, it's like.
Yeah.
It's just bigger than anything you've ever seen. It's and it's always the first thing they see before something happens. It's Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I'm seeing like these reports because like I've never seen a like wolf in person, and I didn't really get a perspective of how big they were
They're
until
massive.
I saw a video of one sneaking up on a dog in the woods. He didn't get the dog.
Yeah, thank
It
God.
made the dog
Oh,
look
I know
like
what you're
a
talking
damn
about.
chihuahua, right?
Little tiny.
And it was a normal sized dog, like a lab or something.
It was a lab.
I've never seen one either, but like just like that, I've seen videos and
But
stuff.
there
And
are
it's
reports
like,
of like
whoa.
this huge creature that looks like a wolf,
But bigger than a wolf.
But on its
bigger.
hind legs, right?
but it's crawling and then it like kind of like jumps up and like it kind of holds its position. And I'm like, that's nuts. Like you always hear reports of like Bigfoot and stuff. Like why is it becoming more of a thing right now lately?
Well, I feel like it's civilization drawing these
Pushing
things
them out of
out of their habitat. It's kind of the same thing that keeps happening with stuff that's in the ocean that we haven't. They keep all of a sudden these things are coming to shore.
Start building homes in the ocean.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, all of a sudden these things are coming to shore
Who lives in a
though.
pineapple under the sea.
Yeah.
Crackheads.
It's a really high dude. Yeah.
Shaking the pineapple. Here, I see you.
But no, I honestly feel like we're gonna start with like, I mean, even like the burning of like massive amounts of rainforest and things
The
like that.
Amazon.
That we've never been able to go into places that are like so densely like, grown and you can't really get. I mean, there's places like
Yeah,
that in like Louisiana.
Darren said it before. I mean, there's swamps there, like you said,
Yeah.
Louisiana. There's swamps.
I think
There's places out, you know, in the country where it's all woods. Yeah, you can't reach it.
But fucking Sasquatch isn't real. Fuck all y'all.
We
No
never
one
said that.
Nobody's ever said that here.
Yeah, y'all.
This goes way back to our first podcast. You remember the very initial #1 episode when we talked about Bigfoot and aliens?
Yeah, and everyone laughed at me and saying that he wasn't real.
Well, it's not.
No. We laughed at the fact that you had a toy
And a lunchbox.
and a lunchbox. That's what we made fun of. But it's crazy because, like, I think I was having this conversation with the small group that I was in with Alex and Juan. We were talking about, like, there's a civilization. There's I'm sure there's multiple. But, like, you physically, like, the government won't allow you to reach them because you can give them like a disease and wipe out the whole tribe or whatever.
Well,
but they only know about it because of drones.
Yeah, I've seen that, and they're actually trying to spear the drones because they've
They're trying
never
to shoot
seen
the
it.
drones down.
Well, that's what's crazy. I know it's not. I mean, they're a lower civilization, but I was watching The Village the other day, the M. Night Shyamalan.
I haven't seen that forever.
Yeah, and it was just so happened to be on, but I mean, in that sense.
Yeah.
So, like, you guys think there's animals and creatures out there just like that, you know?
They've never. I always think that too, because I'm like, are they in a better spot than we are right now? Because they have no idea of the concept of end of the world in our terms, or like, has their
Ignorance is bliss?
No, I don't know that they're ignorant. I think that they're probably a lot more in tune with. They would be the ones to ask, is there such thing as climate change? Because their way of living will have been affected immensely. Like, we can go in an air conditioner, we can do this, we can do that. You know, we can get into heat. We can. We have a lot of comforts. So if we were to ask people like that,
They
like,
see it firsthand.
yeah, no, like,
Reality.
what's changing? Are there still animals? Are there the migration patterns change?
But to them, it's
Like-
gonna be like, it's just what's happening.
Right.
They don't think.
Right, but they'll be able to say, yes, it's happened. They don't really have an explanation. It might be something more, and maybe they do. I mean, maybe they do. So it's like so bizarre to think that they could have more answers than we could ever think. And we always assume that they don't know, but really they're the ones kind of like boots on the ground when it comes to what the climate's doing, what the environment's doing, and we have no access to them. They might have a lot more information than we think they do.
So it's actually kind of scary, like, thinking like there's stuff. I mean, you always think about it, but if you sit there and like really think about it, like even like online, there's stuff that we've never seen or experienced before, and it could be terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is, like, and it's also like fascinating, you know. The problem with the humans discovering things like that is that we're gonna trap them, mount them, put them up in a museum,
Study.
and quote unquote study, but it's gonna be all for profit. I mean, it's nothing that we're
Of
gonna
course.
do in the name of science. It doesn't benefit someone's pockets, you know. So in a way, you're almost like, hey, dude, hey, Bigfoot, stay the fuck back. Don't be shown.
Bigfoot, if you're listening.
Yeah, when you listen to this podcast,
Bigfoot,
Know that you have friends.
yeah,
do not come.
I mean,
We'd love to
Around.
have you as a guest.
Yes.
Please don't reach out to us.
Yes.
hit us up on our Instagram.
Reach out to me.
Slide into our DMs.
Yeah, just DM me, help me in. I got
We'll
you.
take care of you. We'll get
Yeah.
you in and out of here safe and sound.
Yeah, Teresa knows how to get you.
That's right. I got some
Our
Halloween
car
masks.
already smells like you, so no one would know that you put it there.
Crow's a sweetie. You
Yeah.
Yeah,
fall
don't
in
eat
love with
him.
Don't eat him though.
No. Eat Darwin, but not Crow.
Not my darling good hill. So what are we gonna call someone?
Oh yeah.
Oh, we have a friend that we were trying to call.
Anyways, yes, Teresa, scary movies are supposed to scare you.
Well, I haven't seen one
There's
yet.
different.
Well,
Then
if you watch the
Fourth
first time, and then
you'll.
you'll turn it off in the first 20 minutes, probably less. Put it over the fire.
Time to phone a friend
That's right.
or phone a foe.
Let's see if she can get up on this again.
You bitch.
She fucking hung up on us.
Is there another number you can look up for her? We won't see.
She saved that. That was the number.
They're probably like all fed up. She's like, everyone's been calling me this season. Clock, 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 clock. Fine, I'm tired of walking on this bridge. What did Teresa say? She said meow.
What's the number you have?
322-5571.
Really?
Call from your phone.
Yeah, maybe she's tired of hearing when Teresa gets lonely.
Well, what's up?
This customer you are calling is not available. Please try again later.
Didn't that happen
El
last time?
cliente de servicio móvil al que llama
She
no
is
se encuentra
Mexican.
disponible.
We did know she was
Más tarde.
Mexican.
Okay, try
Message
one.
1, US01 LD.
Didn't she say she was gonna call you back last time?
Yeah, she did.
When we put this, and then like you're like, wait, what? She can't call us back. Didn't you?
Oh, she left Darren's address, remember?
The wireless customer you are calling
Wireless.
is not
Oh, this
available.
bitch got a cell phone.
Well,
I just want what every modern donkey lady wants.
well, we were trying to call the donkey lady, our old pal.
Yeah. If
But
we go back to the
There's
first
a different
episode.
number here.
Okay,
Call
try
it.
Yeah, call her.
This is on Kins 5.
That's what happened.
Hello. Please state your name after the
Yeah,
tone.
that's her.
Normal voice will try to connect you.
Teresa.
That's it.
Get a tear. Put a beer tear. Come on, lady, answer.
Do you want?
Sky free, chicken fry, and sweet tea. I am the donkey lady. Maybe we've left before. Hold back. If you're bored, then I cuento. You show the cheese.
Okay, that totally wasn't the same one.
That was just an advertisement for churches.
Yeah.
I swear to God.
Chicken fries and
Tender.
sweet tea. Don't forget our barbecue chicken.
And our honey biscuit. Ooh, donkeys love the honey biscuit.
Hey, bitch, throw me in some poppers. Damn.
That's kind of lame.
Yeah, that's crazy though.
If you want to hear the actual message, go back to our first podcast.
Yeah, it's kind of shitty, but
It was for Bill Miller's that time.
that one. Yeah, excuse.
All I
We
heard-
didn't have a microphone at that time.
All I
You
heard
know-
was chicken,
Chicken.
That's what I
I
heard.
heard
Chicken
cheese
fry,
man.
and then
Cheese
something
man.
about cheese man.
Something about bloody something.
Bloody dicks.
Bloody donkey beef.
Yo, we should make a video, a YouTube video,
A YouTube.
a
YouTube.
special of us going to somewhere.
Ooh, let's go now.
I'll give it to fucking Eric. He said we need to go to a haunted house and have like a live record at a haunted
I don't
house.
think they
Why
allow
But
so
I
we
don't.
can
But
stay
yeah,
outside?
exactly. I don't think you can do.
Yes, you can. I follow a group that literally breaks into them on Facebook.
Well, they break
No.
into them. We're not criminals. We're not
Not-
criminals.
Well, actually, he did say we should go to a real haunted house. I was like, okay, you tell me where a real haunted house
They
is.
know on the urban,
For the sake of the podcast, let's just stay with the area.
Yeah, I'm sure they would let us be at the Manger all night, walking around.
Have
Anyone
our
can
podcast
go
in
in
the
the
lobby.
manger.
No, but I'm saying after a certain hour, we can tell them we're
Just
ghost
get a-
hunters or
Just get a
something.
hotel.
You know how expensive it is
No, it's
there?
only like $60 a night.
I'm saying
Is it
between
really?
us, we could all share
Cheap.
a room. We're all family.
Yeah.
Well, it would just be us in a room, like.
So if it's literally okay, so say we got a room and it was even if it was
I
$100
got
bucks.
chills, bro. I'm down.
Even if it's $100
You know what? I'm totally.
If
We
down.
can do the podcast in the room.
even if it's $100 for two for the double bedroom, we can all get $25.
I don't. I'm not that.
He said we should do the podcast.
Yeah, totally. We'll get a ghost recorder, AMT.
And I'll take off work the next day.
There you go.
Yeah, I will too.
Oh, you know where we should go?
The Crockett.
No,
Dang.
where y'all went and stayed.
Ooh, that place
Where
is
we
expensive as
where
fuck.
we know for sure.
It wasn't that expensive. It was like $125. It was just getting there. It's 5 hours away.
Oh jeez. Where is it?
Palestine?
Oh, okay.
Palestine. Where you were at? Yeah.
I wasn't there.
You didn't go? Oh, sorry. Me neither.
I was there, but I wasn't there.
She didn't live
Oh, you didn't go over there. You didn't want to, right?
Oh, I was there for a little bit, then I left.
That's what we were saying like to talk about. I was like, this sounds so familiar. Your memory will haunt you. Yeah. Behold the ravages of age. Okay. Yes, for real.
So.
It must be the ravages of age. 'Cause
Yeah.
it took a few seconds for me to connect those dots. I was like, this sounds so familiar, something important. Oh wait, I'll do it. I'll rob the quickie bite.
Oh wait, are y'all down with that or what?
I'm down for anything that gets me out of my damn house.
Anybody?
You can look up hotel prices.
Anybody else want to go?
At Trivago.com.
Whoa.
That guy's scarier than
I mean,
anybody.
if y'all want to be a guest on the podcast, you can't stay in the same room as us though.
Yeah.
You have to be the one alone by yourself.
You have to be
With
alone.
your hand only.
What? No one's talking about your hotel. You can't sleep in my bed.
You know what? You're sleeping by yourself.
Yeah.
Hey, I'd be down to stay in a room and like by myself and record.
No, you wouldn't. You'd cry.
He would cry all
I
night.
don't think I'd cry.
I wouldn't cry.
I don't think
I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
I ain't afraid of no stroy.
That's more than anybody.
Dead or alive.
April.
So,
Hold on. April.
Mm.
What book is this?
This is Phantoms of the Plains, Tales of West Texas Ghosts. And really, one of the main reasons I brought it is because, shut up, Teresa. After listening to our last podcast,
My info was all wrong.
no, it was right. And I just wanted, I knew it had the Marfolite information in here. So, talking to a couple of people at church, were asking, like, what does the sign say? And I had it in here. And, you all know what it says on the,
Yeah.
Oh, the what?
Do we have a choice?
on the plaque.
yeah, of course.
I read the flag.
Of course.
Okay, so it's
You've seen it.
it's
You've
an
been there.
official Texas landmarker plaque. So if you've seen these around town, it has, or around the state, it has the state of Texas seal on the top.
Historic marker.
This isn't a historical marker.
It's just a plaque.
No,
It's
I-
acknowledging.
I know.
So it's on the Marfolites. It's the Marfolites, mysterious and unexplained lights that have been reported in the area for over 100 years. Now this was in the early, I want to say 1980s they did the thing. So you're talking 1880s, okay? Have been the subject of many theories. The first recorded sighting of the lights was by rancher Robert Ellison in 1883. Damn, I can't see. This lighting is hurting my eyes. I'm blind.
We need some Marfa lights.
Variously explained as campfires,
She doesn't know how to read, guys.
phosphorescent minerals,
Terrible, sure.
swamp gas out of electricity, St. Elmo's fire, the ghost lights. The lights reportedly change colors, move about, and change in intensity. Scholars have reported over 75 local folktales dealing with the unexplained phenomenon. So, it's just a little bit more information on, we talked about the Marfolites. And then, it's a really great book if you want any info on Texas ghost stories.
Is it just like all Texas? Or?
Yeah, this is basically West Texas. So you go into Marfa, Big Bend. Is Isaiah still here? Is Isaiah? Oh my goodness, Isaiah still there? The fragrance of lilacs. There's all kinds of things. The Haunted Monastery in Big Spring. Has anyone ever been there?
I've never been to Big Spring.
Stanton.
Scranton?
Stanton.
I heard Scranton.
So anyways, it's but I brought that mainly for that. Some good stuff in it. I don't want to read it because I'm actually have a few stories I'm saving for our pre-Halloween extravaganza. But I read this book. Great book. I'll post a picture of it on our Instagram, Snap, website, whatever we have. So you want to go into the story about, let's tell a little bit of what happened out in, what's it? Where were we?
Palestine.
Okay, let me set the scene. We had gone last year to
Palestine,
Texas for a Christmas thing. Was it?
The
Choo Choo Chocolate, the
Polar Express.
Polar Express.
Okay, so
Polar Express.
the Polar Express experience out there through the state park system, and we had 2 houses. We had a bunch of families, so we had to split. We had a big family, so we had to split residences so we'd all fit. So me and my kids, my parents, my sister and her daughter all stayed in one house, and then my cousins and aunts all stayed in, and uncle stayed in another house.
I stayed in the other house.
And that, just to understand, like, how it's called Three Crows Lodge, where we stayed. And it's, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes away from the nearest real road. And the only thing on that road was a gas station before you had to go another 45 minutes to get anywhere, as far as, like, civilization. So, pretty much out in the middle of nowhere. We got there, like, it was super late. So we didn't really see the outside. It was pitch black. There's no outdoor lighting except for the light off the porch. A bunch of big windows. The house is old. It's actually got a lot of history. The house actually wasn't from that location. It was moved from a location prior to where it was at before it became the lodge. So, we get there, it's late at night, we kind of all pick our room, our sleeping arrangements, whatever, and my kids and I get a front room that has like a playroom attached. And the moment we opened the playroom door, there was an extra room that was kind of I guess, what was that, guys? Like a toy room?
It looked like a closet made into a toy room.
Yeah, but it was obviously used to be part of the porch because the wall was brick
Right.
on one side. Okay.
And it was pretty creepy.
It was creepy because like the toys that were in there were
super old.
Yeah, that doll was, I mean, I can't even describe it. It was super old. Anyways.
That was your room?
Yeah.
Teresa, you were staying in the room with the piano?
I was staying in the room with the piano. An
That was
old
creepy.
rickety piano.
So, what's crazy is we got there, there's a bookshelf, and of course I went right to it, and the books are ancient. There was a lot of them had inscriptions. It was a huge house, Victorian style. There was already, like, immediately I found inscriptions from the early 1800s in these books, handwritten. We kind of, at that point, got a sense of the fact that it was more than just like, I don't know, it wasn't just a regular Airbnb kind of thing.
Yeah, well, when I walked in, I said, this place is haunted.
You see it, well, in the daylight you could see it.
No, yeah, but at night, like,
Yeah.
you could completely feel it.
So there's an old out-of-tune piano, blah, blah, blah. So it was one of those kind of creepy, I don't know how to say it, like just a really creepy residence. And Teresa, go ahead and go from there for a little bit.
So after we felt the presence of something, we started reading some of the.
You just jumped.
You totally jumped.
Where did I jump
What
to?
presence of something did you feel and when?
It was just something, like you felt it as soon
I
as-
didn't.
I did.
I did not.
I did when I walked in, but
Yeah.
that was way after y'all got there.
Yeah, I didn't. I actually was like, whatever. And then what got me was I started taking pictures at night of everything.
Oh, okay.
Remember, and I started seeing the 3 triangle orbs in every picture. And I was like, what is that? Why?
So
are
then
these
another
that?
thing that we found is something. My mom complained that the house was very dirty, which it wasn't. I didn't think it was, but then we go further into the back and there was a bunch of dead bugs.
But only on the,
Yeah.
it was real Amityville horror-esque in the sense that it was like a bunch of flies.
Yeah, they were just dead. And,
But mass amounts of them.
yeah. Also there was a well in the back. It was covered up and there was a pet donkey and a pet chicken, right?
They hung out together.
They hung out together. They were cute.
Okay, so we're gonna backtrack a little bit because the first night we're there, Teresa walks in, it's late, she's like, this place is haunted. Mom's going around complaining about the place. I'm reading all these old like books, like going through there. The kids found their room or whatever. We didn't know there was a well, we didn't know anything, it was pitch black. We could not see anything out there. So we go into the house and automatically I thought I heard one of my kids crying. I was the first one to hear something weird because I thought something's crying, and then I went into my room because I thought my kids were in there, and I walked out and the door like slammed. It didn't just shut, it like slammed behind me. And I was like, what the hell, you know? And then I had started taking pictures around the place or whatever, and you know, this was last year, this is 2018, this wasn't like, we weren't little. And so then we just started getting like, it was all of a sudden like a weird, just out of the corner of your eye kind of thing, like you would see things, you know, I don't know, not move really, but it was just like something would catch your eye, but I don't know what it was. So then we all went to bed that night because it was the second night that Alyssa had a dream, remember? And Ivy had a nightmare.
That's right.
That very first night.
Well, hold on.
We didn't read the book till the second night because we didn't know anything. No one had said anything. It was, Ivy had dreamt about the little girl.
Were y'all there a day before we got to our place? Because that night that I showed up for the first time, me and Fanny showed up to y'all's house, we started reading those journals.
Yeah, but y'all didn't, we got there too late the first night. No one came over that night. We got there like super late. And then, remember me and Teresa, I don't remember how it worked out. Either way, they had Ivy had a dream about a little girl, something or other, and Alyssa had a dream about the well. Remember, it was like a nightmare about a well. So we wake up the next morning, and
they both felt their beds move.
Yeah, and Ivy came into my room. After the door slammed, I moved my mattress into the room with Teresa. And I was done. And so then that was the first night we read the journals.
Mm-hmm.
Because I hadn't moved my bed yet.
No, because I did.
Yeah, you scared the crap out of me.
We'll get to that in a second.
So then anyways, we're sitting there and the next night and the girls, but we didn't tell them about it. Remember, we made a point not to tell them. That's what it was. We made a point not to tell the kids. We're like, because they're going to get scared. Because in the journals, I have pictures, I'll put them on our Instagram. It was, we had a great time. The little girl finally left us alone by the third night. Or your spirit here is really active or whatever. Like all this stuff. And we're kind of like, what the hell is going on here? Like it's an Airbnbs, people are leaving their own notes. I mean, this is years of them. Just constantly about this little girl. So I'm like, whatever. We go to bed. Ivy and Alyssa felt their beds moving, and each had a separate nightmare. And Alyssa's had something to do with a well and like a spirit in the well or something like that. So we get up the next morning, and lo and behold, we go outside and there's a well. And so I'm like, okay, what the hell? And then I kept hearing crying, and then I tell Teresa, wait, and Stevie heard it middle of the day, not like late at night, like all of a sudden, we were the only three at the house. It was me, Stevie, and Teresa. We were getting ready to leave, and all of a sudden, I heard crying coming from the room that I was staying in where all the toys were. I heard like a little kid crying, and I was like, wait, did y'all hear that? And at that point, I was like, you know what? We're gonna get a EVP, reader. And so I went through all the different ones. I know some people say they don't work because that's a different frequency or whatever, this and that. I don't even care. I do not care. Because if a spirit wants to be heard, it's going to be heard in any way, shape, or form. So what happened was my parents had left that morning to go to their house to eat breakfast, which it's a long drive. It's like a 30-minute drive.
Yeah.
So we got the EVP on. My parents were gone. They took the kids. It was me, Stevie, and Teresa. I got it. I'm like, let's walk around the house and see if it comes up with anything. And the first thing that came up, remember, it started saying map. right outside the room. I walked to the room where I heard it crying, and all of a sudden it started like, it would like shake and it would say map, and then it would go away, and then it would get real strong, and it would say map. And I'm like, what the hell? Not 15 minutes later, no, not even 10 minutes later, my dad calls me. He's like, where are you? I'm like, we're still at the house. We're going. And he was like, we've already been to Martha's, and me and your mom forgot our damn map book on the table.
Mm-hmm.
Why a map and map book? Like, why? And at that point, I was like, holy shit. Stevie started playing the piano, and we had it. I didn't even know if I had mine on, and it popped on, and it said, sounds nice. Sounds nice. So then and then Ivy came in and it said June. I have screenshots of all the words it came up with.
One of the scariest ones for me is when my mom we were showing her all this stuff, and I had taken it, and we were taking my phone, and we were going around to different things, and I literally put my phone on the bed, and it said bed. I set it down like this, and it went bed.
And then all of a sudden it started giving out names, and it said hurt, help, dark, well, all this stuff. It was like, and it gave names though. And so I started looking at the history of the house, the name, and there actually was a little girl that lived there and had that name, that lived there. I think it was Elizabeth or something.
Something weird like that.
So then before we left, I took pictures with my camera, not with my phone, not with anything, with my Canon. And then I used all my settings, high def, whatever, and I was just taking pictures of a beautiful place. And there are two pictures I cannot explain, I cannot understand. And one of them, and mind you, I'm the only one outside. Everyone's in their car, we're getting ready to leave. I said, hold on, let me get a few more pictures of these windows. The lighting was just perfect. On one of them, my camera kept messing up, so I tried using the iPad, and it just turned my screen like a purple weird lines. It wouldn't let me take pictures of the house of the iPad, like for whatever reason. So then I got my camera out again, and it finally started working. And one of them, I'm like at an angle. The house is over there. Remember it said workers. It kept saying workers, help, workers. And I said, Mom, what was this building? Like, why are these three buildings? She goes, this place used to be, that building used to be where the workers stayed. They used to make pottery here on this place. They used to do masonry or something. I don't remember but that was literally where the workers were. And it was like, workers help workers. And so then, but I took a picture, and if he hadn't been in the car, I would almost think it was him. It looks like a guy standing in the window looking out at me. Mind you, these are boarded up, locked up buildings that no one's in. But looking out of the window, it looks like there's a boy there, a young, tall boy with like glasses. You can even see like the reflection of light, except he's in a shadow. So you should not be able to see any kind of reflection whatsoever. And then another one, it looks like a girl with her face like pressed up against the window, looking up with her mouth open in terror. The problem of that, her looking out that window, is on the inside. They left the windows on the outside for aesthetic, but they've repositioned the rooms. Like on the inside, they've made the large rooms into smaller rooms. So that window is now a wall. There's nothing in that window. It's just a curtain, a fake curtain for the aesthetic from the outside. But there's literally 3 inches, like however big the windowsill is.
Yeah, there's no way there could be anything.
There's nobody back there. And even if there could be, everyone I was with was in their vehicles getting ready to head back to San Antonio. But I have the pictures. I mean, I cannot explain them. Like, I cannot. So.
Still freaks me out though.
Yeah, and it was like, I don't know, just the whole vibe of the place was really odd. Like I said, commenting on the piano playing, hearing that crying, it was like a really sad whimper, like a painful, like, like something like when you hear a kid get hurt and you feel like, oh gosh, it like hits you in the gut. That's what it sounded like.
Never experienced that before.
You don't care if kids cry.
You just feed them pizza
Right.
when they're half a year old.
That's not me.
Half a week old, not even a year.
Yeah. You're not eat that film.
So, It's just one of those very odd experiences.
I did have an interesting dream the other night
What would that be?
that I murdered and decapitated someone.
Do you know who it was? Like,
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you ever had like any kind of killing dreams like that? Like where you
Never.
like shot somebody or anything
I've
like
had
that?
dreams where I've gotten shot and died in my dream.
That's odd because they say they usually don't let you die in your dreams.
No, I died. I straight up died.
But
Isn't
but
there a name for that? Like if you have those type of dreams that are so real.
I mean, it was like,
Did I ever tell you about? I've told you some crazy dreams I've had before. Did I ever tell you the funeral one?
No,
I've never told you the funeral one.
I don't think so.
In fact, I'm pretty sure if I've told you this. Okay, you mind if I say it?
Of course.
So, I have some pretty vivid dreams sometimes, not all the time, but I tend to remember them a lot. And I shared one, for sure I've shared this one a lot with people, like people know about this dream, but this one in particular, like I woke up like sobbing, I was crying.
oh, I remember this.
I did too. Somewhat.
Right.
But go ahead.
So, in my dream, it was my grandma's house, but it wasn't her house. And for whatever reason, in my head, I was like, this is grandma's house, but it looked nothing like grandma's house, right? And I'm in a suit and tie or whatever, and I'm like greeting people. I'm like, hey, thank you for coming, And just saying hi to people. It's a big old room, and out back, you walk outside, and it's sunny, it's a nice day. Just saying thank you for coming to people. Thank you. And it gets closer to time, I guess, and like the pastor or preacher or whoever, I don't know who he was, but he's like, hey, he's like, you ready? It's time. I was like, it can't be. He's like, my dad's not here. He was like, we can't start yet. My dad's not here. And I'm like my dad, like Art, like I'm looking for him, And I'm like frantic, searching the house. I'm like crying. I'm like looking for him. I run outside in the back, and I run back inside. And like, as I run inside, like he just like grabs me and hugs me, which is strange because like, his dad,
Yeah, we all know he's not.
And I look at
he's
him.
not the hugger.
Yeah, and I look
He
up.
hugs me every time.
I look up at him.
Anyways.
You know what I mean. I look up at him again, which is weird because at the time of the dream, like I'm already like his height or taller, like. So I look up to him, and he's like, "It's okay, like I'm here." And like all of a sudden, I'm just like, "I'm good." I stop crying, and I was like, I go up to the guy. I'm like, "Okay, like, we can start." And so I go into this room. It's a funeral, and I lay down in the casket.
So fucking weird.
I lay down in the casket, and I'm literally just staring up at the ceiling, listening to this guy say, "Thank God for coming," and starts talking. I'm just like listening. Like I greeted everybody that was there
For your funeral.
for my funeral. Like I'm laying in the casket just there, and I wake up and I'm like crying my eyes out in the middle of the night.
Was it a good? Was he a good Googleizer?
I didn't get that far. But
Darren loved his magic cards.
No, that is. I remember you telling me that. That's
Mhm.
that's nuts.
That freaks me out.
Now, I guess everybody was acknowledging you as you were telling them when they were walking in.
But like you were
saying-
almost like an usher? Or
Pretty
did
much.
they? Okay, that's.
Like I was at the door, and like everybody was coming in. I was like shaking their hand, like thank you so much for coming. And they just keep walking,
That's super creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in my murder dream, I have always been saying like I could not be a murderer because I would turn myself in. I could not live with that anxiety of like getting caught. Been watching a lot of Dexter, and and no, I have, and I was like, how can he be so calm? Like he's chopping up bodies and answering phone calls. I was like, I would never and I always thought like, what would I do? And I think that's what led to the dream. And I'm like trying to fit a head into a trash bag, and like freaking out that I'm gonna get caught.
Wow.
Yeah. It's not a nice dream.
You'd be suspect number 2. You'd be suspect number 2.
Yeah. So you wouldn't be the first suspect.
Okay. That's true.
She's off.
I would say though, you show up to my house with a bag. Be like, where are we putting it?
Get a shovel.
Yep. Like, hold on, let me go get the shovel.
Let's go get that. Let's go get that thing.
Drive around the block. And
Drive around the block a few times.
then come back and I'll be ready.
I'm ready. Go, go.
Red team go! Red team go!
I used to have really realistic dreams about alien abduction, like real. Like I swore they were real. Not that I was getting abducted. That what the
But
ships
you don't
look like.
know that.
No, I know they were dreams.
Inserting anal probe.
No, I was so terrified, like I couldn't move. But they were so real, and it was a lot of people there though in my dreams. Like it wasn't like I was the only one.
That doesn't mean anything.
And
Doesn't mean you're the only
I
one.
never knew anyone in my dreams that were there, but it was like
There's billions of people in the world.
it seemed so real, and I was like, and then I had a dream one time that there was a giant and Bigfoot between our houses at night, between me and Aunt Rosie's house, Teresa, and our house, and he was trying to break down the fence like Bigfoot was, and I don't know why that scared me because I'm not scared of him. But it was during the
Until
time
you meet him.
It was during the time I've seen Harry and the Hendersons. I
It's
have
not an
I
accurate
have a very
representation.
realistic idea of what it's going to be like
Not
when
an
I
accurate
meet
representation.
a big feet.
Is it a big feet?
No,
A
it
big
is not.
foot? It's a
No,
big foot.
Bigfoots. It's Bigfoots. Multiple is Bigfoots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. Just like you wouldn't. Damn. Never mind. I lost that joke.
You did.
Womp womp.
Womp.
Yeah. So but I wasn't scared of. I'm not scared of that. I don't know that. You hear about all those people like friends of Bigfoot. Like it's like there are a lot of them are female, and they're actually more motherly. And as long as you don't take or harm their children or your own human children that have been abducted by them.
Yeah, they do care for children.
They do care for children. They're motherly. They're paternal, maternal.
Are
You need to watch the fourth one.
they male and female?
Yeah.
There are male
Yeah.
and female
Yeah.
Bigfoot.
And they say they're very distinctive as such. Like they're not.
Well, duh.
They're not. Well, they're not like wearing bows and skirts. I'm just saying. Like,
The female's got tits and the male's
I
got a
don't know.
big huge dong.
I don't know that that's the anatomy though. No
Right,
one.
Teresa?
Why do you think I'm so interested in talking about it?
Just like Dumbledore.
Yeah. No. So nothing's.
Did he die? Wow,
No.
thanks. Never fucking seen fucking Harry Potter.
Well, we're way beyond spoiler alert on that.
Yeah, you're like way.
I think he did die though. I'll look
I know
into
he
that.
was real sick, right? He can't walk or
Anyways, keep going.
You're thinking of Hagrid.
Oh, I don't know who Dumbledore is.
He's the main professor. Professor
You
Dumbledore.
shall not pass.
No, that's
No,
I don't
he
know.
did play.
Oh, he did actually.
play
Yeah,
Dumbledore.
yeah, it's a
Yeah.
crossover.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I've never
Anyways.
seen Harry Potter either.
back to the original thing I was saying. No one's ever said it's because of anatomy though that they're so distinctive in their sexuality or their gender. I'm sorry. The Bigfoot, the big feet,
The
Bigfoots.
females have smaller feet.
The Bigfoots.
The Bigfoots. They do say their pattern on their feet is very distinct. That's how they know that they've caught the right footprints, and it's not someone with like out there on stilts because it's got to be.
Another
So
thing
you're
that,
saying they're real?
well,
I
another
believe-
thing that they've said when they've taken impressions of the molds, they have the molds. They said that even like a heavy guy standing on like if it was a footprint, like like a cast, that it couldn't be deep enough for someone to like get on there. It's so deep because they're so heavy.
It's gonna be like Andre the Giant.
Yeah. That's another reason why the footprints go down like that deep.
Okay. Like fossils.
Like fossils, yeah,
Yeah.
but they said that there's no human way that could be created.
It's not.
Just an FYI.
Wow. Very interesting.
It is very.
They can't replicate. And even like the what are they called?
Handprints?
But the like striations on the
Yes, thank you. They cannot.
Don't fuck.
The M's on your hands.
Who are you?
Everybody's. I know, right? Where the hell did you come from?
Professor.
She said Bigfoot.
Someone give her another Miller Lite. It's like her brain.
Professor.
Bigfoot Romanus.
Like Homer with the glasses.
Yeah.
He's like,
My heart is in my brain. Okay, that's like 3 Simpsons references.
Yeah, and we were just doing Obomaphone.
Yeah.
What were we saying? What did he say?
Saxophone.
Saxophone.
Obomaphone.
That's what he did. He was like talking to Homer. Was like,
Saxophone.
yeah, he says saxophone.
Yeah, I know it's Obomaphone and
Oh, does he?
Tubamafu.
Yeah. So
Damn, I haven't seen those. Those were the good ones.
Yeah.
Those were the good ones.
I was actually thinking about that today.
You see that ball?
The first like 9 seasons of The Simpsons is probably my favorite show of all time that I could rewatch over and over.
Those are great for sick days.
You heard Seinfeld's gonna be on Netflix,
Yeah.
right? Taking over The Office,
Yeah.
which I'm not completely.
Well,
with.
Seinfeld's already on Hulu.
I've seen Seinfeld so many times. Like I've seen Seinfeld way more
Oh,
times
I started
than
watching
The
The
Office.
Office. I died. I was laughing. I got to the 2nd season. It was that is
How
a
did
funny
you know?
show.
Okay,
Thank
hold on.
you.
Hold on. I don't believe you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when they
Okay,
Show me
wait.
that
hold on.
poster.
Let's do this.
No, hold on. I don't believe you because the first season is terrible compared to the rest of the.
Oh, the rest of
But
that.
she has nothing to compare it to.
Yeah, and so when I got into 2nd season, when they go on that damn river thing, when he takes them on the booze cruise, I was dead, dude. I was
Rodrigo?
like, yeah, or like whenever it was, and he fucking closed his foot in the Foreman grill. I was like,
He's all stepped.
But
I burned my foot.
but I liked the way he described it because I was like, he lays out 6 strips of bacon and puts it on in the morning because he's like, but I don't have a butler, so I have to do it myself. I'm like, no shit.
Welcome. You better finish that before
Please finish.
before the end of the
It
year.
only
No,
gets
it's
funnier.
21.
Oh, it only.
It's out there next year.
It only gets funnier.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, they're pulling it on the.
Oh, see, I thought they were pulling it in January. I was like, I'm gonna have to watch this.
No, you have all
Okay,
year. But
okay.
yeah, I started watching it.
Yeah, I have to wean us off of it because
I like when they put
Yeah.
that guy Dwight and he thinks he's
that
steering the
guy Dwight.
ship.
Hey, second season.
Yeah, 2nd season.
That's what that is. It's from
Okay,
the 2nd
well,
season.
you know
No, I know,
what?
but
You know what?
you're
From
fine.
here on out, we're gonna have a office update
Oh.
every podcast. Hey, actually, Jenna Fisher and Angela. Well,
Yeah,
that's not her name.
Pam
It's,
and Angela.
Pam and Angela are.
Podcast.
They're having their own podcast. It started.
About the
It
show.
actually started yesterday,
Okay.
and yeah,
I also
they're
like
going
to-
deep dive into the shows. I was all, huh.
I'd also
Interesting.
like to let y'all know that Billy West has a podcast. He's the voice of Fry.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I feel like I'm listening to Fry talk.
Nice.
It's really great.
I know what you mean.
I'm a Debbie.
Didn't we talk about our cartoon crushes before and you were like,
Yeah, she.
Oh, Fry, hands down.
Yeah, we're not going into
no, we're
that
not going
again.
into that. No.
Does anybody believe in vampires though?
I do now.
Um,
I do now.
No, because I've seen like crazy stuff where like, and it's funny because it's like in Louisiana and like in the Cajun, not the Cajun area, but like in
That's witchcraft.
it's voodoo.
No,
witchcraft.
it's an ancient
Have you seen anything like that though, where they really have like guys that they suck the blood from other guys, but they're very sterile about it. It's
No,
really crazy.
Did you know that actually we have a king and a queen court, and they're based out of Austin, Texas. They're real, hashtag, not hashtag, quote marks. They're real vampires. So it's the vampire. They have a vampire court. Every city has one. Interesting fact I learned in all my research of the vampire. San Antonio and Austin are amongst the worst place to live.
If you're a vampire.
No. It's one of the best places to live if you're a vampire. It's one of the worst places to live if you're not. According to
Sounds like
Trulia,
can get
the
drunk.
real estate website, they say if you're trying to avoid vampires, avoid San Antonio and Austin. Because the number of blood veins per capita. So if the world was to end, the vampires would flock to these 2 locations.
Blood bank.
Availability of blood.
Actually, it's right here. Austin and San Antonio are bad places to hide from vampires, apparently. Yep.
Wow.
So,
I didn't know we had that many blood banks here.
yeah, it's like some ridiculous number. It's not, I mean, we're still like number 9, but we're a top 10 places you're likely to get attacked by a vampire. Austin ranks second behind San Diego, while San Antonio places at number 9, behind San Francisco, Louisville, New Orleans, Oklahoma City, Boston, and Seattle, but just ahead of Phoenix. They determined the risk of vampire attacks based on the number of blood banks and hospitals per capita in each city. And Austin, with 3.0 hospitals and blood banks per 50,000 people, is a prime target for lazy vampires. San Antonio, with 2.2 per 50,000, isn't far off. So,
But if it's the end of the world, can't they just have a feast? Like, why would they need to, like, travel to come to San Antonio?
so did you know that
That's
there?
what she's saying, is people are dying, so there's less people to like.
And there
Oh,
are
okay.
2 bars here in San Antonio that are proclaimed to be vampire friendly. So if you go there,
Squeeze me?
Dead Wire Bar on San Antonio on Fridays, 1818 North Main, San Antonio, Texas, and Club Crisis, Club Crisis. It's spelled weird.
Oh my
The snow
God.
cone is.
It's Club
Snow cones.
Club KLUB, but then it says KRYSIS. It's like spelling Aaron like all weird or something. Like it's just
Aaron.
Aaron, duh.
So,
E-R-I-N.
but that is on 1902 McCullough. So if you are a
course.
vampire and
It's
you're
on the color
listening,
Who would be in that area?
so it's just letting you know that there are. But anyways,
I thought that one club would be that one y'all used to go to all the time.
Industry?
No.
1013.
No.
that there was
The
vampires
Wax
there.
Club.
Oh, I'm sure there are
The
vampires
Wax
there.
Club.
Wax
Yeah.
Club's cool.
Yeah, but I remember when I remember I went with you guys over there one time, and there was this guy walking around in a full nun costume with a mask on, a white mask.
Oh, Jared.
Not Halloween.
Jared. I'm kidding. I don't know.
Yeah, and just walking around, I was like, that's not creepy.
Maybe.
So there was a.
It was just a nun with a mask.
No. I'm just saying, there's definitely vampires there. I guarantee it. But anyways, here in Texas, a 500-year-old vampire confesses to police why he bit a Texas woman. As we know him, he's 19 years old. Texas man named Lyle Monroe Bensley was recently arrested for burglary with intent to
Churchill.
commit assault with his fangs. The man snuck into a woman's apartment, whom we didn't know, entered her bedroom, and attacked her while growling and hissing. He tried to drag the woman out of her home, but luckily she broke free and called the cops. The police found Bensley. He was in the parking lot shrieking and begging them to restrain him. He was afraid if they did not, he'd overpower and kill them.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, I'm sure.
After the arrest,
Especially
Bensley,
with a name like Bensley.
after the arrest, Bensley claimed that he was a 500-year-old vampire
Old-time
It
name.
is.
and needed to be fed. If that wasn't disturbing enough, Bensley was wearing nothing more than boxer shorts. to
No.
the event.
Bensley.
Bath salts.
You're giving yourself away.
I mean, seriously. So,
Bensley and Chaz.
From where I understand, there are multiple types of vampires. One of I do believe in this, but I don't know if it's just like a social excuse and you can call him a vampire because according to vampires, and they're really, really protective from what I've read of their how they're portrayed in popular culture. And they're very offended by like Twilight and just that they're all blood-sucking whores.
You're telling me that they don't sparkle in
They
the
don't
sun?
sparkle. There is a Texas vampire king and queen. They live in Austin, Texas, and they actually.
I don't have to sparkle. I'm a vampire.
They're
Man, it's Chris Hemsworth. I'm a vampire.
Tom Cruise is a vampire.
and they have 60 self-proclaimed vampires. Okay, that they like hold court over. So they have meetings. Apparently, it's very selective. If you want to be in there, all you have to do is pay for their
Well, everyone knows.
their literature, and you're in. Just give them some money.
Like Scientology,
Yeah,
man?
yeah.
They say that as far I have pictures of these people. I cannot tell you. You've got vampires who feed from blood, sanguine vampires. You've got vampires that feed directly from energy, psychic vampires. And you also got vampires who feed sexually, not just from sex acts, but from the energy of arousal. Now, here's my problem with psychic vampires. I read a lot about them this week.
Here's my problem with vampires.
No. And here's another interesting fact. Like, they only drink from
Goblins.
consensual partners. They call them partners or whatever.
That's what I've read.
Because they say if you get someone and it's not consensual in the vampire community, it's the same as rape. It's literally looked upon that badly. So psychic vampires, though, I feel like I know some.
I want to suck
They're
blood.
basically like nothing but a succubus. They're basically nothing but succubi that supposedly steal your good vibes and that's how you feel bad. And that's basically if you're around someone that makes you feel like drained, then they might be a psychic vampire.
Wow.
You might be a psychic vampire. What's the Jeff on?
If you're around somebody that makes you feel drained, you might be a psychic vampire.
So,
That's crazy.
but anyways, that's just that. I don't know where to go from there.
My zodiac sign's a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Is it?
Is it really? Little short arms.
Yeah, is my zodiac?
So, yes, I believe in vampires.
I don't believe that.
I don't believe in vampires. I think
I know.
they're
I bel-
crock of shit.
I don't think they have to eat blood, drink blood to sustain life, but they say they feel it generally drains from the
That's
sun.
literally
Duh,
what
like
vampires
in Twilight,
No.
they eat animals.
No, they just you can get it from evidently you can be a sex vampire. Isn't that a song from like
Never mind, I'll leave that one alone.
Information Society or something? I don't know.
That's why
Depeche
Andrew
Mode.
has so many kids.
Sex vampire, or you could be a. Anyways, I feel like I might be related to a couple of or psychic vampires. If all they do is drain your energy, then
Hey, fuck you.
I might podcast with a few. I'm just kidding. But anyway, so yeah, I've never run into one. I don't think, unless they're psychic. But I did watch What We Do in the Shadows today, and that was a much needed Halloween reprieve from the monotony that is my life. Anyways,
The TV show or the movie?
the movie. I've never seen the TV show.
I heard the TV show. Well,
Have you
I heard
seen
it's completely separate, right?
The
What We Do in
TV
the
show is
Shadows.
amazing. I was expecting, because What We Do in the Shadows is one of my favorites.
Isn't it?
Jermaine Clement.
Yes.
I never know how to say his name. But the movie is, but the TV show brought in the guy from IT Crowd. Father! And a couple other people. And I was like, this is going to be shit. The movie was so good. This is good. It's just as funny. It's just as funny.
I'll have to check it out. But anyways, anyone got anything else to talk about?
If you haven't seen it, TV show or the movie.
What We Do in the Shadows.
It's on Amazon.
And FX. I don't think it's in
No,
season right now.
The movie.
Oh, the movie's on Amazon, really?
And
Ooh.
if you have FX, you can watch all of the
The
TV
TV
shows.
shows. Yeah, the TV shows.
So yeah, but the movie's on. It is so funny. Like it never gets. I text Teresa like this never gets unfunny. Like there's certain parts that they say things and I'm
When
like,
you become vampire, you become 6.
they're just adorable. I think that's what it is too. Like they're all so cute. Like they're just like I don't know. I don't know. The way the
Why
world.
don't we just get some slave?
I know he has some old ways of thinking about things. We're werewolves, not
Vampires don't
werewolves.
use towels.
They don't wash dishes. They're vampires.
I'll do the dishes!
And then when they fight, they're all. It's so funny.
Damn, I'm gonna have to watch
No,
that.
I have to.
And then the werewolves are they're even funnier in some ways, like the way they fight.
When I was trying to get everyone to watch it, and I was like, Dad, you have to see this movie. It's so great. He's like, what's it about? I was like, it's about vampires.
I'm not watching that shit. I was like, trust me, you're gonna love it. Finally, after like 2 weeks, he watched it. He was like, you didn't tell me it was that funny. I was like, yes, I did. Yes, I did. He was like, it was so funny. It was great. But I have a deadline tomorrow, so I need to go to work. Not now, but I need to go to sleep.
You need to go to
So I
work.
go to work.
Well, I think we got 2 more weeks of Halloween.
Halloween.
2 more weeks before we get to.
And we need more stories. I know we talked to James, and
that was part of the mini-sode.
yeah. So if anyone else has a mini-sode, more stories.
Yeah, any stories we can.
I'm sure James actually has more. Those were pretty.
Oh
deep.
yeah. He went pretty quick through some of them. I know he didn't want to get into too much detail because he didn't want to offend anybody or
Yeah.
people that he still talks to.
Yeah.
But if you do have any stories, please contact us. Slide in our
Or
DMs.
yeah, if you wanna, if you're too scared to talk, type it out and we can read it.
Yeah, I mean, there's
We'll
plenty
give
of
you a
ways
full
to do
alias.
this. Plenty of ways to do this. You don't have to come here. We can call you. We can
Yeah.
talk to you.
If you can stay up past 9:30 on a Wednesday night, we can give you a buzz.
Yeah, definitely.
So that'd be cool too.
Yeah.
I have more coming out of my Phantoms of the Plains book next week with a little bit more history. I didn't go into it today because I'm actually saving it up because I find it very interesting.
I think we need to see what the schedule looks like, but we may have a guest next week that nobody knows here.
And we might have something fun going on with maybe doing some costumes and posting our pictures on Instagram.
Yes. There's a few things.
I want to see your
Wait,
costumes. What do you have with me?
Yeah, wait.
I haven't decided.
Are you gonna dress up?
I want to.
Okay. April, are you gonna dress up? Do you know what you're gonna be already?
I already do. But I know what I'll do for the podcast because I have 2 costumes I want in mind. So if we do a costume night here on the podcast, I'm going to do my more gruesome one here, which is kind of like whatever. And then, not whatever, it's really good. And then I'll save my...
Do you wanna?
No, no.
Oh. Damn. Okay. Well, I was kind of prepared to tell y'all what.
Okay, well,
But no, I'm not going to now.
Okay, fine.
So now I'm gonna leave everybody in suspense.
Okay. So we'll see what our...
Teresa, are you planning on dressing up for Halloween at all? Or?
or putting clothes on at any given
Yeah.
point since you're in your bathrobe.
Hey, she's in a very infamous
What?
bathrobe.
Yeah, this is the replica bathrobe from Fight Club.
I know what it is. And you're obviously not embarrassed to be on it because you're going to go on YouTube in it.
I don't give a shit, and I have my cool slippers on.
My cool
Hey.
slippers.
Manger Hotel.
Well, yeah, that's gonna be probably a full episode. So you might get a full bonus episode.
Yeah, you will get a full bonus episode.
Well, yeah, that would be a. But we'll figure it out, and we will definitely let y'all know. But yeah, that sounds.
Okay, well,
Well,
now
we all grab a candle.
Mine's hot.
Tastes like burning.
finally everyone on YouTube's like, oh, there is someone sitting in the corner that's not just floating teeth. That's all you see on all my videos.
Don't forget Chris back there.
Hey, look who it is in your what's up?
You gonna blow 'em out or what?
And good night.
And
Good.
welcome to the other side. Just kidding. Thank you for joining us, everybody. Until we see you again on
The
other
Ow!
side.
Hurt my pity.
Wait a minute.
I'm praying you got that.
Oh no, I did. Oh no, I did.
Enter
Thank you for joining us, everybody. Until we see you again on the other side. That was perfect. That's gonna be the end. It's gonna end like right there.
I love it.
I burned my titty.
I dropped wax on the table.
Mister.
I love that.
Fuck off, Corey.